A reading from the letter of Paul to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, to him who can strengthen you, according to my gospel and the proclamation of Jesus Christ, according to the revelation of the mystery kept secret for long ages, but now manifested through the prophetic writings, and, according to the command of the eternal God, made known to all nations to bring about the obedience of faith. To the only wise God, through Jesus Christ, be glory forever and ever. Amen. The Word of the Lord.
Our second reading on this fourth Sunday of Advent is taken from the letter of Paul to the Romans. We have been reflecting on focusing on Jesus, the one whose birth we are commemorating in a few days. In the first reading from the story of King David from Samuel, we see how the desire of King David to give a fitting house to the Ark of the Covenant was laudable. Yet God, in a way, reversed the plan of David. Instead of David constructing a house for God, God said, I will construct a house for you. And that house is a kingdom that will be the bearer of God's presence in the people. But we know that somehow the kings of Israel, the house of David, failed God and also the people. And there arose the hope that one day a king from the house of David will be born. And this king is the Messiah, and his kingdom will have no end. So we know who that is, Jesus, the one promised by the Father, the one who would come from the house of David and will be the presence of God. It's not in a house made of cedar, but in a people, and especially in this King called the Messiah. God will be present, God will reign. In the second reading, St. Paul simply repeats what we have already mentioned, but in quite specific terms. He begins with the gospel, and the gospel is about Jesus Christ. But he chooses a more historical approach to the gospel, who is Jesus. He says, first of all, this gospel about Jesus was hidden from all ages, meaning it was already part of the eternal mind, the eternal plan of God. It was hidden in God's mind, in God's eternal will. So, Jesus, the gospel, was already present from all eternity, but hidden to us. But how was it present? In God's mind, in the Father's will. Then, according to St. Paul, that hiddenness was broken when this mystery is now revealed in the writings of the prophets. So we see the prophecies, the prophets who spoke of God's will. They, in a way, gave voice, and some of them put that voice, that word, that promise into writing. So the progressive revelation of God's plan, of the fullness of the gospel, of liberation, of joy. And finally, according to St. Paul, from hiddenness to the proclamation of the prophets, like Nathan in the first reading, comes Jesus in the flesh. He is the gospel. He is born. He is not just part of the eternal existence of God. He is not just someone talked about, even predicted by prophets. He is here in person, in the flesh. And as gospel, He is not just for Israel. He is also for the Gentiles. He is for all and for all ages. Wow, what a beautiful description of who Jesus is. Someone already in the eternal mind of the Father, but slowly and progressively made known. And the scope, He is for everyone and He is for all time. This is the Jesus whom we are welcoming in our midst.